Good morning. Welcome back to some more SevTech Ages with SJM. It is episode number 17. So just to go over a few things quickly in this episode here. So here we have two of the celestial crystals that I'm growing. This one with the white particles coming up is finished and ready to be harvested, whereas this one without white particles coming up is not. So just to be careful of that and be very patient, wait until you make sure that you can see those white particles coming up before breaking it, because if I break this, all I'm going to get back is stardust, and I'm going to lose out on the rock crystal that I threw in there, as well as the starlight that I used to start the process. And we'll just break this one here, and we'll see we got 2 stardust back out of that one. And then this one here is ready to go, and 2 more out of that one. So basically doubled my return on the stardust for those 2. And then sometimes you only get 1 back, but you always will get at least one back there. So we'll go over, let's just throw this egg away because I don't need it in there. So yeah, I've got some chickens and some sheep in there. And the reason for that is I need to have a source of meat for making my hearty stew. So that's why I'm keeping those guys in there. And getting more fleece as well. Sometimes I'll go in and shear them just for fun. Go over the smeltery setup here. So I've done it just here quickly so that it's easy to show. I like making the 9 base 1 and 2 high. For this you will need a full stack plus 24 extra seared bricks to make everything that's in there. Actually even more, because I forgot that I made the 2 faucets, the casting basin, and the casting table for my porcelain setup that was in here. So it's probably, yeah, close. I would just go ahead and make yourself 2.5 stacks full of these seared bricks. So I set it up, I put 9 down on the bottom, and then I make 2 drains there, and I'll go over that here in a minute. And then when you see that light up there, you have a completed structure. Seared tank there, the smeltery controller there, which we just got. 2 tanks here with hoppers underneath leading into the output chest. A lot of the time I'll just do it out of here and just do both drains there, but there's a reason why in this pack there. I don't think we can get it until age 3, but to automate the outputs there in age 3, you can make a timer, and then if you put a red piece of redstone on top of there, and it will pulse, and you can actually automate your pouring of your metals out there that way. And I do it this way, that way if I want ingots or gears or plates made, then I'll put the appropriate cast there and then have the piece of redstone on this side, and then if I want to make full blocks of something, I'll move it over to the other side. Something that I've been working on constantly is keeping my charcoal going and getting that built up, as well as getting all of my iron started early, because once we get to age 3 we want to get working on steel as quickly as possible. So you'll definitely want to have a whole bunch of blocks of charcoal made up so that you can get that started right away, because that is a slow process for getting your steel going. So you want to get that work going and working passively for you. So one thing I am going to make here is the weirding gadget. So I've got an ender pearl cast out there, and we just do this, and an ender pearl in the top, and then this is a chunk loader. The reason why we want a chunk loader is because on here on my home island, I think we get some of our chunks always loaded, but over where I now have my astral set up, it's not my home island anymore. And we'll want to keep that chunk loaded for things like collecting starlight, and yeah, well, mostly just for collecting, and growing crystals. So we will put down our weirding gadget here somewhere. Anywhere is good because it works in a 3x3 chunk. So if we just take a look at our chunks here, we get this chunk plus all the chunks that are around it. So it'll be, yeah, 3x3. So 3 chunks in each direction there. So tons of room there. I'm not too hesitant about making lots of these celestial crystals because they can work interchangeably with the rock crystals in every case that I've ever seen a recipe for them. So I'm not too hesitant on making these, and all the while looking for some that come out with a decently high purity. So just keep working away on those, and then as well I'll start putting together some of the other multi-block astral sorcery structures on this island here, just to get all of that working. That's where I put my beneath teleporter over there. So in this episode we will be working towards getting the starmetal so that we can get to the Twilight Forest. So the starmetal ingot needs to cook up a starmetal ore. To make the starmetal ore, no, we're not doing starlight transmutation. We are doing it on the starlight crafting altar. So we need 4 nocturnal powder, 4 illumination powder, 2 stardust, an iron cluster, and a stone. Nocturnal powder does require illumination powder, as well as some black dye, a couple of coal, and a lapis. So we'll have to find some lapis because I haven't got any of that yet. And then the illumination powder requires 4 piles of sand, which you get just by putting a piece of sand in your crafting grid, and that will get you 4 glass shards, which you can cook up piles of sand to get glass shards. You're just cooking up that. You can also put down a piece of glass and break it, but you'll only get 2 glass shards out of it, whereas this way you can get 4 out of a full piece of sand. So once that's all done, we'll just take a look in here, and the advancements page will tell us what to do. So to get to the Twilight Forest, we need a 2x2 hole filled with water, so you'll need 4 source blocks of water, and then you have to put plants, saplings, or flowers. So vanilla flowers, vanilla saplings all work. I'm not too sure on like some of the Ferdinand's ones or some of the other modded ones like the mulberry, etc. So if it's not working for you, then and you've got one of those plants around there, that might be the reason. And once we do that, we'll get access to the Twilight Forest. The Twilight Forest is set up in islands such as the Overworld and the Beneath there. So it'll be a lot different experience for anyone who's actually been to the Twilight Forest before. And I've watched some playthroughs. It looks a little bit less wandering around stuff, but it can be a lot trickier as well, because the one playthrough I was watching, there weren't actually any updrafts between the islands. So that might make it a little bit tricky in itself, but yeah, we'll have to see when we get there. That's everything for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions, as always, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next one.